Like the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry and a scoop of Neapolitan ice cream, the perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters can only be found in the break between races of a doubleheader Saturday night. And that's where we are right now, streaming cyberspace into your place. From the Bullring in Las Vegas, it's the Virtual Grip Network's 7th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, Season 30. Well, first there was Adam Shane, then the boss man Lowell Jewell, next Brendan Myers, all former points leaders this season, and all nothing more than popsicles in the sun. Nothing more than a quick lick and a tease before quickly melting away. And what is left for the palate after there's nothing but a sticky puddle on the sidewalk? Just the bitter flavor that is James Lowe. After a 12th to start the season, Lowe has been unbeatable, winning 5 out of 6. Perhaps the man who marches to his own rhythm is the chocolate and peanut covered drumstick that is Ty Bloom. The ice cream truck has parked in the neighborhood. Is there time for a treat, or does it drive away, leaving the children sobbing with money in their hands? To find out, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for the simulated short track racing action that is about to stream your way. From the driest state in the nation, a warm Nevada, hello and welcome on this Saturday night, May 10th, 2025. The traffic jam man, Jeremy Scott, joins yours truly, Bill Simpson, hi, the BTN broadcast booth, bringing our words eye view. Replay Ryan Seneca, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders, Jeremy. We just saw the SK Modifieds race here. Now we go to the late models.
You gave me some PTSD. I was one of those kids that was crying, holding my gas every single time.
Sorry about that.
Ice cream man never stopped. Never stopped. Still, we saw the race earlier on. It was pretty interesting nonetheless, and it's a little drier than it was now. For those just tuning in, this is a 3/10 of a mile, to a third of a mile circuit, I should say, as it's tight, it's fast, and drivers are really going to have to save their tires because these corners are going to bite if they go too hard early on.
Only a third of a mile around here. That means we're going 33 laps. We have 100 laps on tap. Usual rules, you have to finish on the same tires you start with. This is big boy racing, no fast repairs. If you break it, you bought it. And perhaps that last part is the only hope that these guys have as we take a look at the points right now. We'll just dial them up, and you can see, hey, look right there, James Lowe has a comfortable lead. That's about, 17 points in front of Trey Bloom. I think it's a big ask to ask the caveman to see if he can run down James Lowe, but it could happen. He's probably the only hope, especially with a small field tonight. A lot of the guys that are in the hunt aren't here. Ruben Ortiz isn't here. Mike Holloway not here today. Bruce Pearson is, as is Kurt Smith, but Kurt Smith does not like the Bullring. Then you go down a little bit farther, the Canadian Goose, John Wilson. Todd Liston not here again, and we think it's because he's having that little bullion cube. We hope, again, like to give the merits of that soup works for either gender. And then you got Brendan Myers. Myers was a point leader for a while. That's no longer the case. Well, we hope you stick with us here. I think we're going to have a good show despite the lack of drama in the points race. And, of course, one guy to watch out for is Jason Menda. He was really quick in the SK Modifieds. He's always quick, and he's here tonight. He's trophy hunting, not in the championship points, but he's got a chance to win this thing.
He really does. As he was quick early on. Just one mistake from well, it's either James Lowe or Menda. They're chalking it up to a racing incident that kind of ended Jason Menda's chance to go for the win. But nonetheless, there was really nobody stopping Aiden Young. Of course, he is here again tonight. We saw how fast he was in race one, and we'll wait to see if the defending champion ends up doing quite well here in race number 2.
You know, we only had 17 cars for the modifieds. We have 4 more here tonight, so 17. One of those drivers to watch out for is Aiden Young, another driver who is trophy hunting, the defending champion to this late model series.
Yeah, a lot of great fast drivers up there. Menda, once again, as we saw in the SK Modifieds, leading practice as checkered flag is out for this session. Really, same drivers we saw earlier, Menda, Bloom, Davis, and Lowe. fastest in practice, but they're about ready to grid up here, Soup. It's going to be an interesting 17-car field. About, let's see, I got to do my math. 4 cars more than we saw earlier.
There you go. Now, the good news for Jason Menda is he is one of the fastest drivers in the practice session. The bad news is he'll be gridded well in the back because he wasn't here for the last event. Let's go ahead and give you the starting grid right now. Starting 13th last week, so he moves to the pole. That is the Canadian Goose, John Wilson. He's going to be inside of Tom Hilbert.
Row 2 will be Jeffrey Kemper and Double Deuce, Bruce Pearson on the outside.
We're not expecting a lot from the number 6 of Kurt Smith tonight. He sure did not like this track in the modifieds. Maybe it'd be a little bit better for him in the late models. He's going to be slotted inside of the man I didn't think was here today. Watch out for Mike Holloway in the 88. He's sitting outside of row 3. He could win this thing.
The caveman was quick. Let's see what he can do in the stock cars. He'll be alongside Chris Davis, another fast driver who was able to hold off James Lowe for just a little bit.
Davis very much wants to keep Lowe behind him, but the bad news is he'll be starting on the outside row in front of James Lowe, who starts in 9th. He's going to have Adam Shane. Shane won the opening race of the season. He'll be starting in 9th.
Bobby Hayes will be on the inside of row number 6 alongside Jason Menda. Passes in both practices. Let's see what he can do here in this race.
When we looked at the point standings after race number 2, who was at the top? The boss man, Lowell Jewell. Everybody got their hopes up. Well, that was quickly set to rest there as reality set in. Lowell Jewell starting in the Bakersfield spot. He's going to be inside of the lip for Chris Hayes.
Steve Hilbert and the quick shoe Aiden Young will be alongside each other in row number 8. Aiden on the outside.
The parade lap is done, so what are we looking for on the start? Well, we think Wilson should be able to get that start. We don't get to see Jeffrey Kemper race very much. It's nice to see the number 8. He's going to be starting inside of row 2. Look for him to get inside of Tom Hilbert. Both the Hilberts seem to struggle on this track. Watch out for Bruce Pearson outside of row 2. He's always quick. And then we talked about Kurt Smith inside of row 3. Probably not the best thing for Trey Bloom inside of row 4. He might have to wait a little bit. Let me turn it over to my partner.
Great to have Mark Herzog in the field as well. Pace car is into the pits. John Wilson gets the start. He'll be alongside Tom Hilbert, and he gets a good jump, as he always does. Green flag is out. The first of 100 laps is underway. As from second on back, you're starting to see battles as Jeffrey Kemper going to the inside of Tom Hilbert. He'll take that second spot early on.
Smith, as expected, very slow, not making up any ground. Hilbert jumps to the outside there. That's going to let Smith get underneath him. So far, so good. We talked about Mark Herzog. He's the last car back there. He's always quick. Usually has to start in the back because he's not a regular. Watch him come through the field. Trey Bloom working on the inside.
Well, it's interesting. Aiden Young's falling all the way back to shotgun on the field. So we'll see how long it takes for him to get that number 69 up to speed. But this battle for 4th place, not going to be much of a battle as Trey Bloom goes around the inside. James Lowe now goes to the inside Tom Hilbert. So he's all the way back to 6th, but they're still racing for the 5th spot.
Yeah, and we talked about Lowe and the Davis. Davis stuck on the outside. He is not making up any ground at all. Lowe making his way through the field.
Davis in that pink number 7 racing spot is, it feels like half the cars are all black or some variants of black. And it feels like that they're racing for Henry Ford there as the field working their way around once again.
What's the line for Henry Ford? You can have Model T in any color as long as it's black?
Yes, sir. So nonetheless, this battle here between the 13 of Bobby Hayes and Tom Hilbert. Hilbert just cannot get back onto that bottom line. He has a little bit of opening there. Oh, no, but it just got shut down by Mike Holloway. So now the driver who's on the front row falling all the way back to 9th. Basically a boat with an anchor, but just not going anywhere.
Hey, he's having a nice run. He's up 4 spots from 11th to 7th. Next one up for him is Bruce Pearson. We are clean so far. Don't worry, folks. If it's a yellow mess, we got trivia for you tonight as a new policy here in the late model event.
Well, you know what? As long as the answers aren't as easy as they were last week, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. Now the 25 for Tom Hilbert has a chance to get in line, but not going to be able to as he's holding off the 7 of Chris Davis. Davis now gets around him, so Hilbert gets back into the conga line right there in 12th spot.
Yeah, we expect the guys in the back. There's excitement everywhere. Watch out for those guys Herzog and Shane and Young. Herzog are notorious for making their way through the field. I said Herzog quite. Davis not having the run he would want. Chris is started 8th and 11th. He got stuck on the outside line and it just didn't go.
Yeah, we also mentioned that he is not a fan of racing here at the Bullring at LVMS as he goes to the inside of Menda. Menda not going to make anything easy. They go sliding around 3 and 4, and they're able to get it straightened up. No caution.
Well done, boys. That was exciting.
Not bad for the start of the races. The boss man, Lowell Jewell, goes around the inside of Bobby Hayes, makes his way up to 8th place. And that's just how it looks like these late models are just going to have to run soon, because they're really get on the inside of somebody. They might have to just, kind of force the subject, like, I'm coming around you whether you like it or not.
You got to wonder if miles compared to quarters comes into play for these guys who have to make their way through the field. It's only a third of a mile track. It's 33 miles is all we're racing for the 100 laps compared to 50 on a half-mile race. Boy, look at this battle going on back here. Let's watch Mark Herzog. He is now underneath the 25 of Tom Hilbert. He gets that done. He's going to try to bring along Adam Shane with him. Pick up a couple more spots.
Yeah, Shane in that number 79 making his way around. He lost 4 spots from the start. So far, your biggest movers, James Lowe, shocker there, up 5 spots, up into 4th place.
Bobby Hayes was having a nice run as well. He was up a few. Now he's even. He's about to lose 3 because the guys behind him are big names. Young, Herzog, and Shane going to be coming through soon for Hayes.
Yeah, Holloway able to go around the inside, W's Bruce, and next in line is the 2 of Jewell. Of course, also behind Jewell, wanting to get around. That's going to be Chris Davis in the 7. He's going to look to the inside of Jewell, going to force the subject there into 3 and 4. Goes a little high. He's got that spot. Now he's going to try and hone in on W's Bruce, but Jewell not going to let him have the last word. Yeah, he's going to say, I go for 1 and 2.
He'll be able to tuck that number 2 down in front of Menda. He does. Let's give some love to the guy racing in second, Jeffrey Happy Kemper. He's in second for the time being. Here comes Kurt Smith.
Yeah, Kurt Smith with a nice tight spot. But yeah, Kemper running nice and up front throughout this race. Really right now, John Wilson up to a 2-second lead. But look at this now. It's a 4-car battle for second.
Trey Bloom with the nose inside of Lowe. Lowe pinned to the outside behind Kemper. The caveman doing a little bit of chess playing there. Picks up not only 1, he's going to get 2.
Notch that down. When was the last time you saw somebody get around Lowe without spinning him? Wow. So Trey Bloom is hooked up tonight. And Lowe, he's going to try and make sure that he knows that that was not acceptable. But nonetheless, still Kurt Smith holding on to that second place at the time being.
Bloom says, I got to go. Kurt Smith tries to come down in front of Bloom, but he leaves the room. Bloom knows that Lowe is really good on corner exit off of 2, off of 4. He wants to pick up this spot. He would like to do it and see if Smith could tuck down and keep Lowe behind him. That's not going to be the case. Little bit of elbow work between the 99 and the 6, but they get it done. Move Lowe up a spot, move Trey Bloom up a spot, move Kurt Smith back 2.
Ooh, a little bit of elbows up there through 3 and 4. And now Trey Bloom has to open up that gap to Key and Lowe, but Lowe's just, as he said, so good on corner exit. He let us know last week that he found a little thing in his steering wheel to kind of make things a little bit easier for him to turn. So we're seeing the fruits of his labor from all that testing here nonetheless. I can't exactly say what it was. I don't want to give those trade secrets away, but they're out there.
I was listening to him. What I tried to do is I put my racing rig up on on the right side. I put it up on milk crate, so it's tilted left, so I think I can turn better now because I'm leaning that way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just you know what? A little insight here for you guys. Pay attention.
I've got the Connor Daily set up where I just have it attached to my desk. But when I have it, we're looking at the back of Trey Bloom right now as he's opening up that gap a little bit between he and James Lowe. Don't want to burn those tires up too early. We're only working lap number 28 and the number 32. It's looking nice and racy so far. Of course, John Wilson, Canadian Goose, up 2 seconds. So he's in a zip code of his own right now, which is always a good thing early on.
Well, it's a known fact that Canadians do not like trivia. I don't know why that is, but they are very much opposed to it up north of the border. So he would like this thing to go green. If it does go green, we'll just save the trivia question for next time we come to Las Vegas. How about the caveman holding back James Lowe? Oh, here comes Davis.
I was going to say, Mike Holloway, he's up there. Chris Davis holding off the number 88 of Mike Holloway there. That's for 5th spot as they work their way around 1 and 2. Of course, Davis, moving his way up 3 spots from the start. Your biggest mover so far is James Lowe, but nonetheless, this is the battle of the race so far, as it's one of those races, Super. It seems like it was different from the SK Modifieds, where you got to be just a little bit more patient than you did in the SK Modifieds. These drivers have really got to hone for every inch of track to try and make something happen. One mistake, as you saw there from the 88, that's going to ruin that battle.
Well, we're a third of the way through on this third of a mile track. We've been green all the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is called willing for a caution, which we don't want right now. Trey Bloom, your second place driver, still holding off James Lowe. 0.2 of a second separate them. Let's see if we can get an in-car from James Lowe to see how close he really is. Because that really, just watch the corner exit. You see how far away he is there. Almost closes up just a little bit. Not so good on corner entry this time by, but especially off of turn 4, so it seems like that Lowe is better off of 4 than anybody else.
Of course, Trey Bloom named the caveman because he's a scientist and spent a couple years living in a cave doing some type of research. I believe it was some archaeology, but I don't know what it was. But nevertheless, you got to figure that with the name caveman, he's probably good in tight places right now, and he's certainly in a tight place with James Lowe right behind him.
Well, even tighter than that is this battle for position for the 7th spot. As, oh my, Kurt Smith goes high, gives up at least 1 spot, maybe 2, as you see the 7 and the 88 ahead of him. But this battle here behind that between Pearson, Jewell, Menda, and Young. Look at Aiden Young quietly making his way into the top 10.
He did indeed. And of course, Cinco de Mayo just went by us, and Kurt Smith racing a little bit of what we like to call some Olay racing as he just waves the guys by. Nice battle going on back here as these guys working their way through the field. Coming up on Lowell.
I was going to say, the only person that was really wishing for a caution would probably be at 69 of Aiden Young. We've run 0.4 of a race so far, and it's been clean and green, and I'm enjoying every second of it because these drivers are really having to work here around this bullring. It is a legitimate bullring, as we said. Long straights, tight corners, mentioned in the SK Modified race suit, that you really got to fire through the throttle. At least that's what Aiden said he was doing around the corners.
I think our best battle right now is that has Aiden Young as he works on the back of Lowell Jewell. Jewell has lost touch with the double deuce of Bruce Pearson. Young trying to get through, and then the big names are behind him. Menda back there, Young. Oh, let me correct myself. I got my dark-colored cars wrong. That's Menda that's working on Jewell, isn't it? Young is behind him. Young to the inside of Menda now.
We'll see what the youngster can do as he goes around the inside of the 45, so it's 69 under 45, and so far so good as we've got a pass for position here. Look at Trey Bloom already up past the leader, John Wilson. So he's moved up to first, and now James Lowe moves his way into second place.
Surprise, surprise, as the Canadian Goose. The Goose had such a big lead, but he just couldn't keep it, and they ran him down.
Well, no surprise there. We know how fast Trey Bloom is here in the late models, as we've got more battles for position. Aiden Young has gotten around Menda. Now he sets his sights on Jewell. Also, you've got Mark Herzog coming from the back of the pack, trying to make his way around Menda to get inside that top 10. The top 10 ends at Menda right there. And you also have Adam Shane in that number 79.
Here goes Young to the inside of Jewell. Jewell closes the door on him. Nope, Young with a good exit off of 4. Now gets his inside around halfway there. He's on the inside. No hope now for Lowell Jewell. He'll have to surrender, and he's going to bring in the gang with him. Here comes Menda. And how about bringing in Mark Herzog as well?
Oh, it's always polite to have the door held open for you. Oh, wait a second. It's not so polite when you're losing position.
Little Jewel says, I'm shutting this door on you. Throws politeness out the window. There's the caution. That's going to put James Lowe to the outside. Chris Davis, he's going to be on the outside. John Wilson moves up to the inside of row 2. This is going to be fun.
Yep, like I said, the one person that really wanted this caution is in 8th place as well. Just a turn over the front nose, and I gotta say, I've got to think. Yeah, I know this is the longest caution-free run that we've had all season long, but is it the longest wait to the first caution in this series ever?
It was maybe this season. Yeah, the late models have been a bit messy. Hence hence we're coming in with trivia questions for this. But yeah, that was a nice run.
Well, let's bring in the caveman, Trey Bloom, the driver of the number 32. As he is your leader. Trey, it's Jeremy and Soup up in the booth. Fantastic run to the front.
Hey guys, thanks. Yeah, that was that was a little exciting there. My heart's still trying to calm down a little bit.
Soup,
how's the car feel?
Feels pretty good. I'm hoping I didn't use too much getting up here, and I know I gotta hold James off to have a shot at the championship if I don't know the math, but I'm gonna do my best, and hopefully the tires are still good.
Boy, you must have listened to the opening. We thought you're the only hope, and it was a tall order, but go get him, finishing ahead of him. At least you can cut the gap a little bit.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right, go get him, man.
All right, thank you.
So
how about that, Jeremy? We set it up that way, and look who's up there, and he knows what his job is.
Yeah, he does. He knows. He understands the assignment. So far, Aiden Young up 9, Mark Herzog up 8, 6 for Trey Bloom, who will take the restart here once we get the pace car off, and that's where the pace car is going, back into pit road. So it'll be Bloom and Lowe, row 1, Wilson and Davis, row 2, Holloway and Smith, row 3, Pearson and Young. Nice jump by Trey Bloom. Green flag is back underway. It's my car. We got one car spinning into the wall, and that is our second caution.
You can hear the collective moan there as John Wilson did not get going, and James Lowe was able to tuck down easily in front of him. Let's see what this one is all about. Oh, it's Menda. I think Menda just didn't get going fast enough, and Shane Bloom had places to. Adam Shane had places to go.
So Trey Bloom gets another shot. All right, Soup. Let's hear this trivia question.
Caution number 2. So we go to the trivia question. All right, this one apparently a little harder than the last one that we had. Okay. All right, we're going to give this to you, and then we'll give it to you at the answer at the next yellow or at the post-race show. Which of these famous people did not die in Las Vegas? Okay. You have the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. You have billionaire and famous recluse Howard Hughes, or you have notorious gangster Bugsy Siegel. There you go. I'll let you ponder that one. Don't give the answer, but how are you feeling about that one, Jeremy?
Oh boy, you know what?
Yeah.
It's a little harder than last week.
Yes,
but,
it is.
I might be able to get this one.
Okay,
this one might be within my scope.
All right. Of course, you can text us here at VGN. Give us your answer. Lowell Jewell, kind enough to offer a prize. Free pizzas for a week if you get this one correct.
Yeah, but the problem is you got to take them to the Lowell Jewell Bar.
That's they are delivered to the Jewell residence, so you'll have a little bit of a drive.
Pace car lights are out. It's Bloom and Lowe once again. Wilson and Davis. I feel like I can just hit you should have recorded this row. Kurt Smith, Mike Holloway, row 3. Bruce Pearson and Aiden Young make up row 4. Pace car takes the hard left into the pits, and then a Trey Bloom's restart here with 58 laps into the books. This is cautions, precautions. Let's hope that doesn't happen this time by, as green flag is back out. And Trey Bloom with another great jump, but this time James Lowe closer than he has been. You get close to that bumper, but this battle for second place between Wilson and Davis heats up. Davis not able to make too much of a ground because Holloway now goes to the inside. Wilson slows down through 3 and 4.
Oh my! Holloway almost gave the goose there as he got right on the back of him. was able to stay off of him. The 75 of Wilson now tucks into what would that would be 4th place. Watch out, Mr. Aggressive. Chris Davis now sitting in 3rd.
And of course, also Smith and Holloway both sliding through 3 and 4. Pearson trying to just nudge. Look at who's high, wide, and handsome, though. Aiden Young up to 7th place so far. He's going to go get in front of Bruce Pearson. Pearson has that position for now. Ooh, a little bit of slap of the wall by Kurt Smith. Now Aiden Young and Bruce Pearson still locked in a battle there as well for position. But here's a battle for the lead between Lowe and Bloom.
Bloom hitting his mark. Smooth as dolphin skin. Just putting the car right where it needs to be. James Lowe is going to have to get a great drive off of 4 or off of 2 to get it done. Trey Bloom, perfect right now.
And that's what you got to be if you want to keep James Lowe behind you. You see on the top of your screen 0.2 of a second. Now less than 0.2 of a second separate the 2 drivers down the back straightaway. And it's interesting, Soup, I'm seeing this race more than I saw last race. Everybody hugging that backstretch wall. You didn't see too much of it last time by, which is very interesting. Davis doing all he can to hold off the Canadian Goose John Wilson for position. Now look at Trey Bloom going high. Here comes James Lowe. This race for the lead not going to last very long as Lowe gets it in 1 and 2.
He had to be perfect, and he made a mistake, and capitalizing on it was James Lowe, looking for his 6th win in a row.
Yeah, look at how low Aiden Young is running. He's got that left front practically on the flat. I don't know if that's working for him or how that's going right now, but he's not able to capitalize on any of that position. You know who leapfrogged him, though, is Mark Herzog, up 10 positions to 7th in that number 57 as he's chasing down Kurt Smith.
Yeah, Aiden Young has been trying to high line, the low line, anything he can. He should be able to get around Smith here pretty soon, but unfortunately, he's running out of real estate. Hey, how about this?
What happened there? Let's see here as we see Trey Bloom just going. Oh, little bit of touch there by Trey Bloom. Look at the caveman getting a little aggressive there. Must be getting a little frustrated with spending too much time in the caves and not able to get up front.
Got out the club and gave him something there. That's how we do it. Now, listen, that's not going to go over well in BRL, but for me, that is short track racing. I am standing right now. You'll hear me get a little bit softer on the mic as I am applauding, and nicely done, Trey Bloom. Standing ovation from one of the commentators.
And I'm a road racing guy. I will admit it. Well, that won't go over well in BRL for the time being. But yeah, that's short track racing, ladies and gentlemen, right there. If you can't make the pass, you do your best to get them out of the way. Don't cause a caution, but still move them out of the way. We see Mark Herzog reeling in Kurt Smith for 6. Oh, hard hit by Smith. As Herzog's going to look to the inside. We've seen some tallywhackers out of the 6 of Smith as he's trying to get his car not so wide for tech.
Mother's Day cannot come soon enough for Kurt Smith. He's struggling out there.
And now he's got to deal with Double Deuce Bruce, who's had a great car all night long. And with that little spin, that little bump by James Lowe, his car's just affected a little bit because he's got Chris Davis all over him, like a bee all over Huddy, down to the inside in turn 1 as Lowe shuts the door on him through 1 and 2. Not too far away. You still got Wilson and Holloway still within reach.
You know what? Trey Bloom can take a little bit of solace, and once he got around James Lowe, he was able to leave him behind. It's not like he bumped him and then James Lowe was all over him again, because right now Lowe has his hands full with the number 7 of Chris Davis.
And we know how Chris Davis could race as well, so this is music to Trey Bloom's ears as we're working 25 laps to go.
And come on, when you've won 5 in a row looking to win your 6th, how many tears are shed if somebody moves you out of the way? I mean, really.
Yeah, there's maybe 1 or 2, maybe Aunt Mary's watching, and she's not too happy. I gotta look at the YouTube chat. Let me look at the YouTube chat. I feel like doing that.
Well, I think maybe a guy who was taking notes is Chris Davis, because he is closed up on the back of James Lowe, sometimes in a real hurry. He slides the car in there really hot, then takes it out of there. Davis really aggressive on corner entry. Now he's just look how close he is now.
Look how close he is now, but take a look at that left rear of Lowe. And I'm curious to see how the right front of Trey Blooms is working with 22 laps to go, because I've got to say this, that's got to be part of the reason Chris Davis is able to go to the inside. I bet you that 99, it's a handful. It's probably handling like a dump truck right now.
I speak for all the viewers of VGN, and I say boo-hoo to your last comment. Oh, James Lowe having some car trouble. Oh, my goodness.
Well,
he's
I guess
still in my heart.
Aunt Mary's Christmas card list is one less this year. John Wilson sitting in 4th place as we see the 79 of Adam Shane into the pits. Also in the pits are Lowell Jewell and Jason Menda, but still this battle for 4th place between Wilson and Holloway, heating up Holloway to the inside. That number 88 High Rock Chevy through 3 and 4, and Wilson just going to let him have it because he's about 2 lanes up.
Indeed, Davis is now driven away from James Lowe. That's a nice battle. Look at that. There's the 88 of Holloway under attack from Wilson. Well, not really. Wilson fading, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so Holloway around Wilson, but look at now who the battle for the lead between Davis and Bloom. As Davis all over the back of Chris Davis like a canker sore through 3 and 4, 15 laps to go. This battle, I should say 16 laps to go. Again, I didn't get into broadcasting because of math, but nonetheless, Davis, he's caught up to Bloom. Now let's see if he can get around Bloom. We know that that back bumper is going to be a little dented here with the Davis all over the back of it.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of cars pull off. Adam Shane, Lowell Jewell. I'm wondering if they are running out of tires. Pass for the lead now. Here comes Davis on Bloom.
Yeah, and of course, Bloom up high, Davis down low. It's only going to be a matter of time till Davis can get that nose in front, but look who's also entering into the picture. It's James Lowe. This race is not over yet. 14 laps to go. Anything can happen. We know Trey was worried that he may have burned up his tires. We're starting to reach that crossover to where if you're too aggressive with your tires, you are going to burn them off with 13 to go. Would not be surprised if Bloom's tires are starting to go away.
Oh my goodness. Not only will you burn them off, but they will just, they'll go away on you, and then you'll have nothing left to race. Caution flag on the inside line will be James Lowe. This is fascinating.
Oh boy. Yeah, it'll be James Lowe on the inside, and look at that. It's a 25 of Tom Hilbert that caused this caution, and it looks like it was a contact between he and Kemper. Let's keep a look at this, and yeah, it's got to be contact. Yep, it was a little tap job.
I want to talk to Lowell Jewell real quick because he made a pit stop. He's 6 laps down. He'll be surprised that we're talking to him. But I want to see how his tires are doing. If he had a Lowell, it's soup up in the booth. I know you're 6 laps down. You're probably surprised, but I want to know: was your pit stop because of damage to the car, or is it tire related?
No, it's damage driving up underneath Adam or whoever that was on that restart.
Got it. All right, we'll let you go. Go get you're in 15th. You're within 13th. Good luck.
Okay.
All right, so the tires seem good.
Tires seem good. Yeah, I say tires seem good for him. We'll see how they are for everybody else. This gives them time for some of the tires to cool off. All right, let's go to the quickly to the answer for the trivia question.
Oh, the answer. All right. What is your guess on that one there, partner?
Lord of mercy, I feel my temperature rising. Gotta be the king.
No, I'm sorry, you are wrong on that one. Elvis did happen to die, actually, on a toilet in Las Vegas. Yes.
No.
All right. Yes. Sorry to hear that. The answer is, the gangster who started Las Vegas started the Tropicana. Bugsy Siegel was actually murdered in his home in Los Angeles. So, well, you're 1 for 1. That was a little harder than last time. Woohoo!
I don't believe. No, I'm going to figure this out here. 9 laps to go. Pace car comes into the pit. Chris Davis is on the inside. He'll get the restart. I think it's the first time in a while that he has had the restart. He's got Trey Bloom to his outside, James Lowe behind him, so he's got to time this right, and he does indeed. Wow, 2-3 car lengths already, but James Lowe going to go for second place. He's got that pretty easy, Soup, as the battle for third on back is side by side.
Poor Trey Bloom for 92 laps. He kept James Lowe behind him for most of those 92 laps, and now he's got in front. He's in second, or he's in third, Lowe's in second, so he's only going to lose 1 point. Let's turn our attention up front. Chris Davis started in 8th, has worked his way to the front, and he's only got himself a handful of laps to go, and the 7 looks really good.
Yeah, the 7's hooked up nice and light as they go through for 6 laps to go. It's Davis, Lowe, Bloom, 1, 2, 3. Herzog up 12. He sits in 5th place as he's trying to hold off the Canadian Goose, John Wilson. But once again, James Lowe able to get that good run off of turn number 4. Closes within about a half car length of Chris Davis.
Trey Bloom saying, come on, ribbons around old trees, rivers in China, give me something yellow. If a yellow were to come out, Trey Bloom might be able to sneak that second spot right now. They come around working lap number 97.
And look at this, Wilson trying to get around Herzog. This is the battle for 5th place to get inside that top 5. Again, Herzog just chasing trophies. Wilson, though, he's chasing points. He wants that 5th spot.
Up 12 spots is Herzog from 17th to 5th, doing what he does.
He's doing quite well as this battle for 3rd place heats up with Holloway and Bloom. Holloway, this is about as high as he's been most of the season, so good to see that number 88 working quite nicely as the battle for the lead kind of thinned out with 2 laps to go. White flag will come out this time by as Chris Davis is trying to do what not many people have done. About 3-4 car lengths now separate 1st and 2nd. That number 17 CDR Chevy's been hooked up, and indeed, barring an incident, he's going to be clean and green. Checker flags out. He's going to win tonight here at the Bullring at LVMS.
Davis gets the win, but the momentum is broken. James Rowe will finish 2nd. Trey Bloom, the man chasing him, just a point back in 3rd. Yes, the gap increases, but you can feel the momentum start to swing. Maybe the pendulum's still on the slope, but now it's about ready to swing down, and Trey Bloom ready to make his late season charge. The racing is over. The broadcast is not. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and run down the entire finishing order, talk to the top 3 drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to the Bullring in Las Vegas on the Virtual Grip Network's 7th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series Season 30. Let's get some business out of the way first. Apparently, there is some controversy in the trivia question, or more so the trivia answer. No, we don't know about this. It is rumored that perhaps Elvis passed away, that his commode that he passed away on was in Graceland, which is in Memphis. This is still under research. The Justice Department, of course, has released the documents on JFK, MLK, and RFK. When they release the hidden documents on Elvis, we will confirm that my partner was right on this one. Until then,
don't hold your breath.
Pending, yes. With that said, let's go ahead and run down the finishing order here. He started in 8th position, worked his way all the way to the front. We're talking about Chris Davis. James Lowe goes right behind him, 9th to 2nd. Trey Bloom, 7th to 3rd. The back half of your top 5 is Mike Holloway and Mark Herzog. Rounding out your top 10, John Wilson, Kurt Smith, Bruce Pearson, Aiden Young could not get there. He tried as he might. He had to settle for 9th, with Chris Hazlip going for 14th, 10th. Partner?
Steve Hilbert finished off in 11th spot. Then it was Jeffrey Kemper in 12th. I got ahead of myself because Bobby Hayes will be your pole sitter next week. He'll finish off 13th in the number 13th. That's Tom Hilbert. Lowell Jewell 5 laps down, fixing some issues. Adam Sheen and Jason Menda round out the field. They did not finish the race.
All right, let's dial up our race winner, Chris Davis, who puts an end to the 5-race win streak of James Lowe. Didn't think he was going to get it done. Chris, did you feel confident there, and were you surprised to find yourself in the lead?
I had a game plan that took a little bit longer to execute than I wanted. I'm curious to know what other people's right fronts were like. I don't know how much you guys were looking at. I drove the car differently than most here tonight, and I think that really helped me save the right front. That was my plan.
We had a hunch in the booth that the tires were going. It was interesting to see you work. The car, you certainly a different job, different look behind the wheel than we saw you in the modified. The car looked much more stable.
Yeah, I almost threw it away there though once. I don't know when I was setting up. I think it was Trey to try and get past him. I came around after I got loose. I came around the next time, and it was my 2 black lines that were right there, definitively left on, coming off of 4. And I told myself I didn't want to do that again.
Well, it was a nice job. Congratulations on the win. Good to see you race through the field, man.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, hats off to you guys up in the booth. Ryan Seneker, Lowell Jewell. I know he's not making $1 million on this league. He puts his heart and soul into it and makes it a nice place for us to race. You guys do an excellent job with the commentary. My teammate, John Wilson, every week, and hopefully you'll just keep hearing me say it. We just keep trying to get better in life and with our racecraft.
Well done. We'll see you down the road. Number 7, Chris Davis, your winner tonight. Partner, who you got?
Well, for the second time tonight, I've got the 99 of James Lowe, still your points leader in both series. Well, James, we're back here once again. Let's talk about your race.
Yeah, it was going pretty good until I screwed the pooch and knocked the right front off, and then I got help getting the left front knocked off. So after that, it was just a game about surviving, and luckily we were able to hold it up there.
Let's talk about that left front crushing by Trey Bloom. How do you see that? What's your side of the story?
Well, I was probably a little bit slower than normal, but I'm kind of the car in the front, so. But it is what it is. It's a racing thing, and these tracks, everybody's speed's different, so. Just that one lap, it was just kind of a kerfluffle start on my part, so it was all my fault starting it off, so shouldn't have gotten to the wall in the first place, and I probably could have cruised away and got far enough out to where it wouldn't matter, but it is what it is. We still got second, so it's still a good night.
It seemed like from the booth that 80 laps in, that's when the tires really started falling off the cliff. Was that kind of about the lap where that happened?
After I got the damage, it just felt like I didn't have any tires at all. But before that, the time I slammed the wall, I just got on the gas too fast that particular corner and paid the price. But if it wasn't for that, I think we would have had a pretty good chance. But after all that damage, it was just kind of survival mode.
Well, still salvaging for second place is great. Congratulations, 2 second places on the night.
Appreciate it.
All right, Soup, who you got?
All right, we're going to dial up Trey Bloom, and I got to ask the question. Now, Trey, before you start to be all humble and apologetic, let me give you my point of view on this. The guy's won 5 in a row. He makes a mistake. He leaves the door open, gives you an opportunity. You got to take it. That's my take, and sometimes bad things happen. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it was. I definitely didn't intentionally get into him, and what I think happened, I actually went back to the broadcast to see just what the broadcast showed, and he actually hit the wall coming out of turn 2.
Yep.
And he drifted down, so he had to bounce out a little bit, and then so I just saw an opportunity and tried to go on the inside.
It was fun. It was exciting racing, no matter what. You poor guy, you do your best to try to keep low behind, and he gets. Well, first of all, he gets you, and then you get him back.
Yeah, after I got past, I wanted to be back up there, so I raced real hard and probably burned off a little too much tire doing that. I should have sat back a little bit, but it was fun racing with those guys up there. That was really good hard racing. Good
night for you in both races. So congratulations, man. You're really coming around. You lose a little bit to the leader, but you stop the momentum. So that's the most important part.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week and glad I'm doing well. And thank you guys for what you do up in the booth, and thanks for everybody, Ryan and Lowell behind the scenes working on VGN and BRL.
I got to wait a minute. We're going to bring you back in. We'll get you out of
right
here on this one because I keep blowing the reason why you lived in a cave or why you did research in a cave. Was it anthropology? Was it archaeology? I can't remember what it was.
It was, yeah, I guess technically archaeology. I did a lot of my degrees are in archaeology, so I spent a couple summers in Ukraine working in a cave site. So I'd be down underground for 8 hours a day for about a month.
With cave drawings, like that kind of thing, like stuff on the walls?
There was cave drawings, but it was actually from World War II. We were looking for, there was a population that's the earliest farmers in Europe, so we were studying that society and working on digging up the human remains and the bones and doing DNA work on it and all that kind of stuff. So it was a fun time. I miss it.
Oh, we got to get you back in VGN Weekly and talk more about that. That's fascinating stuff. Hey, good luck, man. We'll see you down the road.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
That's why he's the caveman, folks. All right, Jeremy, take us home.
Well, that does it for all of us for this week, but next week we continue racing. Both the late model and SK Modifieds are at Southern National Raceway. Saturday, May 17th, late models kick off at 9:10. Tomorrow night, if you would like to watch some more racing, definitely tune in to the Virtual Grip Network as the OBRL Cup Series will be at Kansas Speedway at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I would be remiss if I didn't wish all of our mothers out there a very happy Mother's Day tomorrow. Hopefully, gents, you got your racing done tonight and you do some spoiling of those ladies tomorrow. With that, let's lock the gate. Thanks for joining us here at the Bullring at LVMS. My name's Jeremy Scott with Bill Soups on. Ryan Sacker making us sound good and look good as much as we can, and Lowell Jewell for putting this all together. We'll see you next week here on the Virtual Grip Network.